On this beautiful Saturday afternoon slash evening, we welcome you to the Thursday show, or because it happens all the time. But we're here to talk all things footy that happened this week, all things in terms of tournaments, qualifiers, things that we've been watching, and to talk to you about it. And we're here to talk to you with about it as well. So make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. You have myself, Africans. You have JD here finally taking some well-deserved rest. And JD, if I was you, you feel like those players who always represent, always get caps for the national team. At some point, I say, you know what? Just take the next windows off. Just take a few months off, rest up, and then come back so we can see the quality in the midfield. So we can see that quality in the midfield that we there. But I do agree with you, Jason. It is Thursday somewhere, but it is Thursday here. We do apologize, but we are here to talk about all things that are happening. We're going to focus in on the FIFA U20s and talk a little bit of where we go from there. But JD, welcome here. How are you feeling? And welcome to officially the first of many Thursday streams. Well, we're working on the title, guys. It'll be better, we promise.
All right, thanks. Glad that everyone is okay because that is the main importance. Yes, man. As what they said, I can't end up like Amari Bell and just play and get a double kneecap blown out problems. So sometimes it's best you take the rest
Mm.
so you can maybe prolong your stay. Yeah. But yeah, the competitions were very good. I'm impressed. I've watched a lot of them, even though I've not reported on anything. I've watched a lot of them, and I'm pretty much impressed. As I've said early on, I picked out a player from Nigeria, one from Canada as well, because I had high hopes of both of these teams, and I thought that I crushed it in this tournament. Like
Mm.
Canada and Nigeria was very high on, and they really delivered, and that tells me something about the developmental camps, which is important. So yeah, man, we're here, and we're ready to chop it up. Yeah.
No, and we will enjoy it too. So, guys, again, the FIFA U20s, if you weren't aware, we do have the quarterfinals that are taking place tomorrow all day, guys. So if you need a break from all of that Premier League, if you don't want to watch the Serie A League, Liga, all the leagues, whatever you're watching, we have female under 20 football starting, well, where I am in the afternoon, running all the way to the evening, where JD is starting in the evening and ending in the morning. So I pity your sleep cycle again, but it is there. But we're going to talk about the games that were. We talk about the matchups that are here, our thoughts on them, and kind of move from there. So, guys, again, let us know if you've been watching this. Let us know who you've enjoyed, who are some of your standouts, and we'll kind of work it from there. We want to say hello to Sebastian, but it's up to you as well. We appreciate the support. You're
This
always there, even when I forget that I'm streaming, because that happened to me earlier this week. I thought I was recording a podcast, and I was like, why does it say, oh, this is live? I guess it's live then. So you've gotten more of me this week than most people would have thought so. But here are the matchups coming through. We have first matchup Brazil versus North Korea, which to me is probably going to be an exciting game. I feel like there's going to be many goals in that game. That game feels like many a goals will come. Then you have the Netherlands versus Colombia. Linda will again trot it out to be another play. I'm sure they'll change her age and make her play another U20s at some point. You have Spain versus Japan, which will be an interesting matchup. And then I think a matchup which can go either way, the United States versus Germany in the nightcap of the game. I think that game can
either
go.
way,
I think
really.
I, I think it'll go either way. Yeah,
You're not so sold on United States?
I am not so sold on the United States, but we'll get to that.
Ooh.
It's not that I'm not so sold on them. I think I'm higher on Germany than I am on them, and I think that
Um,
is where it is.
Germany came out of Nigeria's group, right?
Mhm.
I saw Germany. Um, I am not so sold on Germany. I actually saw Spain versus United States first game, and I
Mhm.
saw that those were the two best teams in the entire tournament. And I said
Hmm.
that the first game played, that I think both of them will be ending up in the finals just the same because you could clearly see their reaction time in that they're playing at the levels of technical side mixed with the speed and power and overall just quality.
Mm,
and almost everyone on the field are professional players in professional clubs. So
mm.
I think that, look, you have Caicedo on Colombia. Well, you have
Yes.
everybody on United States and Spain are Caicedos. So they took it a notch. It's like most of these kids can't make the main team, so they are just on the U20s. Caicedo
Mm,
can make everything. She's on everything, you
yep.
know. So yeah. So that's why I would say I think United States should be the favorites, like comfortable favorites in that one. I would be more worried for Japan, Spain, because Japan I think can cause Spain way more trouble.
They certainly can. Again, we'll start off with the games and kind of talk about where the teams got here, what their pathway was, and we'll
No
since
problem.
we did start on Germany and the United States, we'll start with those two teams. Again, we have it on the screen, so just kind of showing you guys as we have coming up. Nothing much on the news aspect, but let's go back to how these teams made it to where we had. So Germany, we had beating Argentina in the round of 16 comfortably 5-1. That was the one of the easier matchups to really predict in it. And again, we said in terms of Germany's side, Germany was in Group D. They went 2 wins and a loss. So that's 2 wins in their group, losing their final game versus South
South Korea.
Korea. Yep, that was the
Weird.
match. Yeah, it's something when you see these matchups on the women's side and on the men's side, it just feels like they're going to happen again some way. It felt like the South Koreans said, "Do you remember what happened to your men's team in 2018? We'd like to remind you." No empty goals though. But again, we said in those matchups, Germany winning against Nigeria, then Venezuela, but then falling to South Korea. And then on the other side, you had the United States finishing second in their group, losing to Spain, but then beating Paraguay and then Morocco, and then getting through second in their group. And then the US in the North American Derby, beating Mexico again, which to me was a good game overall. I think the Mexicans played well in that game, but just weren't able to
Yeah.
get it. Weren't able to get it across. The second goal that the US scored is a good shot, but as a goalkeeper, you think to yourself, maybe positioning. Maybe it was one of those forlorn kicks where he strikes it just well and it curves away from the goalkeeper. But that save, I looked at it and said that was going to be a game where I wish something would have happened. That was the game of the tournament for me. I think that game had all the emotion. That was everything. But I liked what I saw from those sides in their games. Showed a lot. Yes, and I do agree with you, Jason, here saying Mexico made them work for everything they had because these are two teams that know each other, right? On the youth level, and even on the senior level, they are built to beat each other and to match up well with each other. So whenever you see Mexico v US, you know it's going to be a hard fought game, and someone's gonna get the win out in the final moments. That's the type of game. That's what we come to expect. And that's kind of what it is. When you look at those two teams and their pathways, the U.S. coming through in their groups, and then you have Germany as well. Do you still feel again that U.S. based off of the teams that they've played, they are still the better team suited to get past this quarter round here?
Yes. And what he just spoke about, as it relates to they played a Spain team. They did well in the Spain game, They did
Hmm.
well in the Spain game. Um, then they got pushed to your Inuit versus Mexico. They had to pull something out of the bag. You gradually saw that they were improving along the way. I can't say I saw the same for Germany. You understand
Hmm.
me? I thought that Germany stayed the same way, if not regressed from the Nigeria game, to be honest. You
Hmm.
get me? So that's why I would say that I am favoring the United States team because it's how you finish tournaments, not how you truly start them. And I
True.
thought that they started it well.
No, and that's fair. That's a fair way to look at it. I think to me, we're there. Before we move off of that, I know Argentina, a good tournament for them, getting caught in as one of third place teams, but then Mexico as well. I think it sucks that Mexico had to go out and play the U.S. that early. I think they were one of the teams I saw, especially from the CONCACAF region, who could have gone deep, but the luck of the draw says you're playing the team that knows you the best in the round of 16. So made the best team when they weren't able to go through. Did you like what you saw from the Mexicans in this tournament?
Yes, I'm pleased. I'm pleased. At
Mm,
first, I was kind of upset because I'm saying I thought that these Mexican girls they have kind of grew up and got the edge over the Americans, so I
Mm,
expected it to work out this time on the pitch. But I doubted the Americans a little bit, even though I started this competition hyping them up, but because I'm saying they are familiar with each other and they have gotten the nod over them the last time, I thought that the
mm,
Mexicans were prepared to touch them. But the Americans showcase that they are resilient, and they want to be here. Not like the last time. The last time they just failed out, and I'm wondering if the CONCACAF region was good. No, I can say that Canada, Mexico, and United States definitely proved to me that yes, the CONCACAF region re- regain back what we expected from them. Because remember, it was
mm.
Mexico carrying the flag the last time. You
It
get me? We
was.
kept seeing them dropping out, and it's just solely down to the Mexican system really led them to that position. But now you could clearly see that they are ready. This core of players from the CONCACAF is ready to compete with the rest of the world. And so I'm pretty much pleased with what I saw.
No, that I like what the Mexican side did again. Just the luck of the draw, have them playing the team that knows them best in the next round, and that's unfortunate. It was a good match. I do believe that that is probably one of the better matchups of the tournament so far. I did like just the unpredictability of that Canada France matchup up top, but in terms of the emotion and the stakes, you can't go wrong with that USA Mexico matchup there. So you have Germany US there. You're favoring the US.
USA, yeah,
I like what I've seen from Germany, but again, I think I want to see how they look. They played well against Nigeria, but I also feel that against Nigeria, Nigeria left a few opportunities on the pitch. So I think Germany has them in bad, and again, the matchup they have, they didn't have to fight in this first round. That's not their fault. They play. You can only play and beat the team who's in front of you. But now they're
yeah,
playing this U.S. side who just came off of a big emotional game. So maybe there's a bit of a let off there for the States. I do believe in the quality that Germany does have, but they're going to be tested. I think this will be like your classic Germany US games that we saw like on the women's side, where it's maybe going back and forth for a little bit, but then maybe at the end it spreads out. I respect the US talent. Believe me, it's been a thorn in my Canadian side for too many years. But I think I want to back Germany because I did kind of follow one of the friendlies they played against Canada earlier, and
hmm
they made life miserable for the Canadians when they played. So I think it'll be very interesting. I will side with Germany just because I like some differentiation in our picks. We can't
No,
all
that's how it is. It's not just differentiation. You have always gone against the United States. It's clear, no, at this point, because
consistency.
it's 6 tournaments in a row. Even when they're the champions, they're the number one. For some reason, you make up a story to tell me that yes, they're gonna lose.
Listen, listen,
And
JD. At this point, what can I say? I'm their good luck charm. Every time I go
what?
against them, they win. So they
Yeah,
shouldn't want me to vote. If I'm rooting for them, there should be a problem. They should say, oh no, we don't. What does he want? We need to tell him his edges are bad. I don't know. We need to change something about him." But we'll kind of go from that, and I think that's where I want to go. Jason can let us know that they'll lead back to fitness. I give you the slight edge, but it'll be close. I do agree it'll be close. And then you have Savannah King versus Cora on the wing will be the key matchup. Most German chances are from Cora 7. Yes, I have like what I've seen from Cora in terms of just her movements and just getting into those spaces. So whenever you're playing the US and you're trying to stop, it's always a wing play, right? Remember JD back in
hmm
CONCACAF where it was Ati versus Gamero at the U17. And
yeah,
you
yeah,
said,
yeah.
well, Ati was there. And then when the U20s came, Gamero says, hello, I've taken steps. And Ati did well, but you can clearly say the edge went to Gamero. And then Ati had a good tournament. Gamero wasn't on the team. That's nothing against the players where they are, but I am excited. I'm going with Germany. You're going with the United States.
Yes, yes, no
Slight
problem.
edge.
I will take
Jason
that one.
Jason is clearly fighting with his passport, so he's going to say slight edge to the U.S. Because but it'll be close. But that's all right. There's no problems with that. There is no loyalty in the game. The game that is prior to that. This is the interesting one. You have Japan versus Spain. Japan versus Spain is the matchup. Spain's pathway was beating Canada 2-1, coming back from behind to beat Canada 2-1 in 90 minutes. A good game of where
Yeah.
they let me dream, and then my dream I was awakened
Yeah.
by you know when you lose a game, but then you have to say, but the set piece was well executed. That
Hmm.
it was.
Yes, and you have to be honest to yourself. If you had looked at the pattern of the game, if you had finished that game 1-0, it would have been very much unfair that you won the game. You did fought hard,
We did.
but it was a game that Spain was the better team, and chances went away from them, and you took that opportunity. You understand me?
Mm.
And you had some good opportunities as well. So I'm not gonna pretend like you just came and lay down. No, 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 no. You
Oh
you
no, no,
did
no.
your job, but I would say Spain was the better team, and I saw that they were going to come back. Yeah.
Mhm. No, and that's the thing. That Canada Spain matchup to me was, and like halfway through the first half, I had tweeted out, I said, this is the type of game if Canada's gonna win, they're gonna have to win it like 1-0 on the counter and just survive. Either that or they need to grow into this game. And then they score at the beginning of the game of the second half, and you're thinking, okay, we can breathe. We're here. And then on the ensuing passage of play, it's I've called it this whole tournament for Canada the awkward place balls, the balls that are too short for the goalkeeper but too deep for the defenders. They have just confused the back line the whole tournament because no one really wants to commit one way or the other, and it bit them again. They tie it up, and then again, when Spain scores that goal to go up ahead, I'm first. I mean, I'm heartbroken, and then I'm thinking to myself, but it was so well executed. I can't really be that mad. I really cannot be that mad. But Spain has been that team, I think, throughout the tournament. They haven't lost the game. They conceded their first goal against Canada on that turnover, then ball crossed in and then moving in. And then for Japan has been a side there. They came in Group E, winning all three of their games: Australia, Ghana, and New Zealand. And then in the round of 16, they were able to
Mm,
get their win versus, roll it up here,
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Yeah, and that was a tough one for Nigeria. I feel like we're gonna have a conversation about our sides bowing out in the round of 16. But that game, I feel Nigeria wasn't bad in this game. They just weren't able to really grow. Japan took the ball, and in the countering opportunities, I felt Nigeria was a little bit wasteful with them, and as a result, they are where they are, and Japan's moving on. I like this matchup because when we look at the senior level, you see what that could look like when Japan played Spain at the World Cup, and it was just countering and efficiency. And you would think that this is the type of a game that would be where maybe it's Spain dominating the ball, but if Japan's going to get something out of it, they have to be lethal and clinical on the counter. When it comes to this matchup, what are the things you're looking forward to in terms of the big key matchups that push it one side or the other?
I'm gonna pick Spain. I'm gonna pick Spain over Japan, but I think it's going to be very, very close. As to what you said, Spain closing down and Japan technical ability, but the lack of extra speed to break the line from Spain, so they can't
Mhm.
concede possession at all times because they know that once they press them on the break, they have a better chance to score and not get scored on if they lost the ball in transition.
Mhm.
Um, so based off that, I still believe that the Spain team has back speed, which is the important as well. The full back speed. All right. You have
Mhm.
the Barcelona little kid. She's a special player. All right. And I think she's gonna be pivotal in this game to keep on locking down so they can off press. All right.
Mhm.
Once they can off press, I think they're gonna fight Japan and they're gonna win the game against Japan. It's gonna be tough, but I think that they're gonna really turn up against Japan, and Japan will struggle to deal with them.
Mhm.
Like Japan looks sensational, but I'm telling you, Spain is a team like just like what you talk about United States and Canada. Spain and Japan is designed to beat each other, especially at
Mhm.
the youth stage because they seems to always find themselves playing each other.
No, and I think that's true. But I think I've pulled up the Canada Spain matchup bring up the point that they have dominated possession in every single one of their games, and I think that's going to continue. But I think what you have with Japan is you have an opportunity, like you said, teams that are built to go. The
Mm-hmm.
formula for a team like that is you can have the ball, but when we get it, we have to make the most of our chances. They can, I think
Yeah.
Japan can defend well enough. They can make things uncomfortable in the half spaces. They can make them have to keep on passing back to find cracks and cronies to move around. But when it all comes down to it, Spain will have the ball. And so for Japan, they need to either, I don't think trying to play Spain one up is going to really help them. But I think for them, when they get the ball, they need to transition quickly and they have to be clinical with those finishes. If not, it's going to be Spain in the semis, which is where I'm going for anyways. I'm siding with Spain. I think nothing that
Okay,
they've
that's
shown
one
so
one.
far
That's one
hasn't
one.
shown me that they are going to slow down, and nothing. No one has shown me a crack in this yet, right? The only crack that we saw was if you get a ball that's clear, and again, this feels very mean for me to say, but if you get a ball that's cleared and you can deflect it and then you can start a quick counter, then you have a chance. But that's the only way that someone has been scored on.
Which is tough. Which is tough if you're relying. So that comes like the game that I was watching today, which is
Mm,
the City versus Brentford.
yeah.
You're trying to press in certain areas to hope you get a deflection. All right. So
Yep.
you're hoping that they're on their bad day in order for you to have any success. That tells you
Mhm.
the team that you're playing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, and
It's
I
gonna
think
be a
so.
good game though, people.
Oh,
I think,
definitely.
yeah, very good game. I think it might become the game of the actual tournament. This could easily be that way because you're looking at one of the teams that score the most goals, and you're looking at a team that don't concede none. You
Yep.
understand me? Yeah.
I mean, I think the game of the tournament will be that North Korea Brazil game, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. There will be goals in that game, but yeah. So we're both going Spain there. We did see your question. Don't worry. Who do we want to see in the semis? We're telling you as we go. We both have Spain in the semis, but then he has Germany. He has the US. I have
Yes.
Germany
Yes.
in the semis.
Mhm.
So that is who we have going, and we'll go to that game that is before that. The hosts Colombia versus the Netherlands. At this point, Linda is dragging this team to the semis. Caicedo will drag everything, pupusas and all. They're dragging them all the way through. So I think the Netherlands to me is for a good side, and we'll talk about their pathway here. The Netherlands came through beating France in the round of 16 in a good game, 2-1. I think they also played in the UEFA qualifiers. So two sides which were familiar with themselves as well. Colombia getting the 1-0 win over South Korea, a good matchup, but then coming through looking well. I know when we look at Colombia, we say it's Linda Caicedo and friends, right? Look, Colombia, we disrespect Colombia by acting as if it's like Diana Ross and the Supremes or someone else like that. Bob Marley and the Wailers, but there's more players.
Or perfect example, Khadija Shah and the Jamaica team. She gave me that feeling. Obviously, she
Mm,
don't. Khadija Shah is nowhere near as mobile like her. That's true.
mhm.
But she gave me that same feeling. Like if you're looking for something, you're just looking to one human being. It doesn't matter what
Yes.
they do, and the football style. Obviously, they can pass football better than Jamaica. That is for sure. But
Mm.
it just gives me that similar feeling.
Okay. See, and I think that's a fair comparison. I think if you look at the passes and how the teams have played, whether it's a Lopez who's playing or a Munoz who's coming and playing, I feel like there are other players. Like I like to make the comparison of for the CONCACAF folks here. This feels like this is like where I don't know if they have a player at the level of say a Jonathan David, but this Colombia team feels like Canada, where everyone's like Alfonso Davies, him, but I think there are still decent players on the side that have been doing well enough. But I think when it gets pressurized and when it gets high stress and when they don't know what to do, the default is always get the ball to 18 and let her do something. And that was like Canada the last cycle, right? Get the ball to 19 and he'll try to create something. I think there is a little bit more. And we mentioned Munoz, we mentioned Lopez. I think those are two good players who I can see really performing well, playing off of all that gravity that Caicedo is creating. But right now, to me, I mean, Colombia's pulling all the stops to be here. I think at this point, this feels like this is Colombia's game to lose, even though the Netherlands will make them work for it. I think the Netherlands will be a physical side for Colombia, and they will get it through. But I think Colombia's best chance is keep it close, and then hopefully Linda or Lopez gets a goal in near the end and get it done. I am siding with the Colombians, and because hey, home field has to count for something. Hey, it's got to count for something.
Based on how they have started that Australia game when it should have been 1-1 down the pitch,
Yeah,
some reason they said a foul committed. Maybe Jason Guna and his friends, the officiator, the referees, made
it
a
was
dodgy call, gave them the 2-0 because they came right to the pitch and scored it. So
it was all
I can see where you're coming from. Yes, I
circumstantial,
can see.
JD. It was all
And and
circumstantial.
and we have to be fair to ourselves. Netherlands have not been so convincing in
Mhm.
their last two games. I would say that they started off strong, but they really start dropping off. I think they might be the team going back way the fastest. That's what I
Mm,
would say. They started out so strong, started thinking, yeah, Netherlands out here doing it and stuff. But I thought that they got cold. So if any team Colombia wanted in this final round, it would have been Netherlands.
yeah. Well,
And
no
their
one
luck actually got them in Netherlands. Will they pull it off? It's not a surety because the Netherlands would be the best team they have faced so far. But you
mm,
don't know what drop off the Netherlands will have. All right. So, and Caicedo can or Netherlands as well, but the difference is Netherlands have much more technical players and they can pass through the rigid system of Colombia. So which
yeah.
one of them you expect the Netherlands not to create so much clear cut opportunities and Caicedo to go on and take it?
I think I mean, she's the best player in on the pitch here. And I think that if I want to look at one thing for the Netherlands to be concerned, it's that draw against Argentina in the group stage. Argentina weren't the best side here. And that to me should have been a win. It doesn't change much. They still finished in second. They would have still had the same pathway. But just aesthetically, Argentina was able to get a draw against them. And so for me, I look at the quality, I look at what is there. I feel that this is Colombia's game to lose. If they lose this, the Netherlands had a great game plan, and it's not an impossible thing to say. But I think the Colombians are there, and this should be their path. They should be in the semis. I mean, anytime it's a Colombia game because they play second and the crowd is filled from halftime on. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I knew that they were playing after Canada Spain because I was like, ooh, why are there so many? Oh, Linda's coming. Okay, that makes sense. Linda's coming to play afterwards. But I think for them, how they've looked, I think they have the opportunities. But the one thing that I'm concerned with Colombia is, again, it's a tournament. We're evaluating them right now. They've not been finishing as clinically as they could. They're leaving a few too many chances on the pitch. And if a game is going to be as tight as we think it's going to be, defensively fought, chances here and there, you have to convert, because if not, then you leave yourself open to that. That's one Dutch header, and then you have your girls are on the pitch saying what could have been because you weren't able to pick it through. You need to score. This is nothing new. You need to be clinical in front of the net. This is not rocket science. But is the one thing I have seen with Colombia where I say they're getting chances, but they haven't been finishing them. And if they can have that game where they finish them, I think that only bodes well for them. But I'll still side with the Colombians to get past the Dutch. Are you still going with Colombia as well?
No, I want to give it. You know what? I'm going to squeeze the Colombians in, but I'm going to give it 48,
Ooh, 48.
52% to Colombia, 48 to Netherlands. So that
Okay.
means one misplace goes to the opponent. Yes, because I just believe that Netherlands, and you brought up a good point. You truly think that Kaiser is the best player in this competition? Because I
I think
don't
he's
believe so.
I think she's the best player in this game. I don't know if
Oh,
she's
oh,
been
oh,
the best
in this
in
queue,
this
but
game. I don't know if she's
eh,
performed as the best. She's the biggest name. There's no doubt about that.
I,
But
I think she might be the biggest name, but boy, oh boy, I am so impressed. She's good. She's good. I really rate her highly. But if I have to go for my top five, She might make the top five, but I don't think she's the best player in this tournament. I don't think so. You know?
That's
Yeah, yeah,
fair.
yeah. I know,
No,
I
and
know,
that's
I know.
fair. I think that's I think she gets top five, like say how Alfonso Davies always is the top player in Concacaf. The name, and I love Fonzie, I do. But at the end of the day, there are some years I'm like, I don't think he deserved like this.
This I would give to her Africans. If you to repeat something because she's a professional,
Yeah.
I think she might would have gotten it more than everyone else. So if you put her in this competition 4 or 5 times more, she might would have delivered the same thing that she's doing now
Yes, that
because
I
she's a
agree.
professional. All right,
Mhm.
so I would give her that. But that I'm trying to tell people the level of the play in the competition. You know, because
Mhm.
if she is a world star, we can clearly say that and she comes
Yes.
down to U20s, and I'm saying that she's not the standout player, but she's definitely one of the best players. That tells you what U20 is and what is required for you to have any success. You can't take up anybody that's not playing professional football and go there and believe you're going to win anything. Nigeria has the best natural gifted people on planet Earth when it comes on to
Yes.
football. I've never seen a place just pick up people that we don't know which club they play for and they turn up. But you can clearly see the lack in education between the professional teams. I still believe that Nigeria had more talent than the field and Japan.
But
Like
it's just the
individual
system.
talent, like natural physical makeup. But they don't have the education like the other girls them on this field.
The system was bad. Yeah, the system, the ingraining of it. Yeah, and that I do agree with. And that's a whole conversation on the infrastructure of Africa, which we'll kind
Yes,
of
man.
talk about later.
Yeah.
But
That's sad,
I
you
it really does sad. But yeah. So as it would stand, then you have Spain versus Colombia in one semifinal, and
know?
then
Ooh. All right, Spain versus Colombia. All right.
that that
All right,
that we
Spain
are
going
we
back
are
to the final. Then not
that
even
we
a
are in
question.
agreement with. Oh, I think that would be the case. That we are in
Yeah.
agreement with. Now the other semi, we both have a different team in the USA Germany game, but then Brazil North Korea. Um, the team we don't really know how to evaluate versus the team that has the, for lack of better words, the street cred. Right, Brazil shows up here.
The street
Um,
cred.
yeah, they show up. It's like, oh, they're Brazil. It counts for something. This is going to be interesting. So Brazil beats Cameroon in the round of 16, 3-1, coming back after
Mm-hmm.
Eto. Again, great name for any Cameroonian striker.
Eto.
Eto, just
Yeah.
honestly,
You have to say that she might just be the first, if not second best player in the tournament.
she has been to
Yeah,
me there.
yeah.
Yep.
See, we just talked about Caicedo. We just mentioned it to an instant. We can say that Caicedo is good, but you just look at this girl and you know that she doesn't have the education as Caicedo. And this little girl, you just can't stop her. You know,
Nope.
two players I saw that is unstoppable in the tournament. And both of them, you can see that they're just raw talent, and the other girls them are just way more educated than them.
Hmm.
Eto and Chiamaka from Nigeria.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Eto is a way better finisher. Chiamaka
Yes.
is like
No
a
doubt.
bulldozer, speed, Khadija Shah. I have never seen that. Oh my God, she can't be stopped, man. That oh
The way
Lord.
she was attacking some of those crosses, I thought to myself, those were the ones that when I was young, I was like, do I want this violence on my body, or do I just give you the goal? I
And
don't want this
the
violence.
sad thing about it, she can't kick the ball, she can't head the ball. And she's like she bigger than everyone, she's stronger than everyone. And you're saying this is just fundamentals, you know, man. You
Yep.
can't just teach the little kid to just play football before she come here, you know? Yeah, but they have impressed me. They have impressed me, you know. But yeah, my girl that I have to shut down is Kamara. Kamara.
Ooh,
She is
yes.
fast and strong. She's the one I expect to mark um to mark the Colombia superstar Caicedo because the
Okay.
extra turnover pace. I just want someone to be there available, and then Spain can deal with the rest of the Colombians. Then.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, so that's how we have there. And then Brazil, we talked about them. North Korea, they have been a machine. I'd say they've been a
Yeah, yeah.
buzzsaw. Everyone they've
Ooh.
played has just been. Would you like five? Like I got five on it. Like
So,
literally
yeah,
every. I don't.
so you think that's what's going to happen to the Brazilians again?
I'm saying there are goals. There are goals to be had in
Yeah,
this game,
yeah. And
and I don't know how I feel about Brazil. Has been good, but
I
in
am
those
going with Brazil. That's
I
all I'm telling you.
and you have every right to do that, right? Looking at North Korea, 5-2 in the round of 16. I think outside of Germany, they had the easiest matchup, just in terms of this team that they were playing, even though they still had to fight for it and they got it done. But then North Korea 2-0 versus the Netherlands in the group stage. And then what was their next game? 9-0 versus Costa Rica. Costa Rica
Yeah,
disappointed me here.
they really
I
destroyed
expected
Costa Rica.
I
Costa Rica is
expected
an
more.
embarrassment. They're
And
an
then 6-2.
embarrassment for CONCACAF, you know? Yeah.
Costa Rica. Yeah, I bigged you up. I supported you guys.
I remember your statement. I'm just looking at your prediction.
Yeah, I vouched for you, and this is how you repay me. Ah, Eddie. Eddie, I need
So
help with these
Costa
predictions.
Rica, Costa Rica is just better than like Jamaica, Trinidad. You know,
Oh, oh, clearly.
I think this just shows the U20s 80 because they did beat 80, right? They defeated
Yeah,
80. Yeah. Defeated 80 to reach here. Yeah. So they're just better than those teams, but because they just have fundamentals. But once it comes
levels.
to the big levels, they did not matriculate to the United States, Canada. You could clearly see that these teams are ahead of them. You know?
Mm,
Yeah. They couldn't deal
that
with all of these quality teams, man. Embarrassment, man. 9 nil and 10.
and this is where
Ooh.
I'm not sure with North Korea, right? They on paper they've had an easier pathway. They've had the, as I like to joke,
Okay.
they've had the England pathway. It just somehow they get
Yes,
all the
the
soft
England,
team,
the England
and then
dictionary.
yes, they're all of a sudden on the this side, and it's like, what? You're playing the Danes, the Swiss, and not the Dutch. Good for you. Mega finals. But I think for them playing a team like I think there are goals that are going to be here. This is the type of game I think ends like 4-2, right? This is like a four
Yes,
two
yes.
type game
Both teams
where
will give it their all.
yes,
But I just have a feeling that this, because Brazil brought back that counter-attacking style from the main team that they played Spain in Olympics.
yep.
They have it in the U20s,
Mm,
and I want to tell you, North Korea will try to close up the spaces and come to off first them. And good God, they can't match that speed of the Brazilian to play out.
agreed,
So
agreed, agreed.
if they can connect those passes, two to three passes, you're getting a red card and they're scoring as well. So
No, I agree.
I could see a red card in this game, and I agree with you. I think we're gonna get a good amount of goals, and this could be the potential best game of the group, game of the tournament. Yeah,
I
agree.
think this might be the game of the tournament just because I think the quality in terms of how efficient, like it feels as if North Korea they get the ball, it's pass shot, back corner of the net, you're not touching it. That's what it feels like. It's
Yeah,
machine.
facts, facts.
I've loved it, but I think this is their first big real test. I mean, they beat the Netherlands, which is their best test in the group stage. They got by Austria, which is fine, but this Brazil team, I mean, I always joke around. It's going to be a long day against Brazil. We only see one name on the score sheet. When the team sheet says it's it's Debina, it's
Yeah, that
Marta,
opinion.
it's
Yeah, but once
it's
you see the two names, you kind of relax, you know.
you think you have hope.
The one
Oh,
names that are killers. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, facts.
I saw 7-1 is like, ooh, it's gonna be a long day for someone. It's gonna be a long day for someone. Whew. But I think this will be the game, and it's the first game, which is great. This is early for you. This will be like this time tomorrow for you. You can catch this game, and then from there you'll
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
vibes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I want to lean towards Brazil, but in the same way that you went 48-52, I'm going 48-52 Brazil on top. But if North Korea gets past this, I will not be surprised. Now, knowing my luck, it means that Brazil will somehow win this game 5-0, and we'll just be like, well, we were
No,
right
I,
here.
I, I don't think Brazil will win it 5-0. I think if they're scoring five, North Korea scoring two. So it's going to be a shootout type game. I agree with you. It will
I
be an
agree with
entertaining
that.
game.
So then that means we have Brazil versus Germany or the US,
Yeah, yeah, that one is split. Yeah,
and then Spain versus Colombia in our semi. So Sebastian, that's
yeah.
who we
So
have in our
Spain
yes.
final, Sebastian for me. Spain
Hmm.
and Brazil, Brazil. You would have had Brazil, United States or Brazil, Germany. I think it's United States beat anybody comes there. All right. So I think if it's Brazil, United States, they beat them. So I am going. So my prediction was just on. It is Spain, United States. I'm going back. They're coming out of the same group, and I expect them to go back to the finals.
I think Spain goes to the final, and I think
If
it's
Germany, if Germany advance, Germany not beating no Brazil or North Korea. Both of
no,
them beating
no, no,
her.
no.
Them.
Yeah, I think it's Spain wins. They eat croquettes afterwards, and it's a good time for them. I think it's Spain. I think Spain beats anyone, but I think the from an aesthetic standpoint, based how the teams have played, give me Spain, Brazil in the finals.
In Brazil. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I think that'll
All
be a
right.
fun game because I think that would be the only side really that might challenge Spain in terms of possession of the ball. That might
Okay.
be the only
Okay.
side in this tournament here because everyone else I think could beat them or could play them on the counter. I don't know if
Mhm.
Germany could. Let me actually. I had this. Actually, let me look this up real quick. Who do they play in
The
the
Germany
UEFA?
team is not impressive. I'm telling you, the Germany team is not impressive. Obviously, the whipping the crosses against Nigeria and looked good, but Nigeria could have given Germany 9-4,
Mhm.
9-4, and
Well, that's true.
um, Nigeria never looked so impressive against Japan. You get me?
Yep.
Like how they looked against Germany. So
So
it's
for
okay. Let me see.
context,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
So
go
for
ahead.
context, they played in the under 19 qualifiers or the championships
Mhm.
to make the U20, and it went to penalties. Spain won that 3-2 in penalties, ending 0-0, a scoreless draw in the passage of play, then 3-2 in penalties. So
And it's the
they
same players, or they had rotated players
I
to
feel like
come here.
I don't have the lot list. I would think there are some differences in the roster, but I think it would to me would say that there is some familiarity that if they did end up meeting up, I don't think it would
Hmm.
be that easy, but I think it
Okay.
would be doable there. I still think Spain is winning this. So
In
knowing
normal
my
time, I don't think he's going
yeah,
no extra time. I think Spain beating the bricks of Germany in normal time. So it's 2-1, 3-1. It's going to
yeah,
be something plus one
that I agree
maximum.
with.
Yeah.
That I
All
agree with.
right.
That I
So we're pretty much the girls took up all the time. So
yeah, they did. Like, it's
maybe you need to set a stream tomorrow. Yeah, are you going to support? Why you don't do any live streams like any watch alongs?
I haven't done watch logs in a while. I haven't done a watch
Yeah,
log
yeah.
since
Don't watch along, and then I can join you.
yeah, I haven't done a watch along since what was it? Ghana Nigeria World Cup qualifiers,
Mm-hmm.
the second leg, where Ghana did not, and again I love to say this, we didn't beat Nigeria. We drew them.
Okay.
We haven't beat Nigeria in years. We drew them. But we just the you know what? I'm gonna take this moment to stand on my soapbox and say, Ghana Football Association, what are you doing? I mean, we've been asking you this for years, but what are you doing? Right? Everyone wants to talk about, oh, this is the problem, but we've all known this, right? Everyone who's complaining about saying, oh, the GFA is corrupt, we know. We know. We had this conversation when they went to the World Cup. And when they went to the World Cup, and then we had a whole
I thought
conversation
this too.
because they paid the executives $100,000 to go to the World Cup, and now we have no functional stadiums in the country. but FIFA gave us money to fix the stadiums, but they're not up to standard. Guys, get your act together at this point. Ghana's probably not going to make the AFCON, which might not be the worst thing for them in terms of waking up the country. But then knowing the people in charge will just blame the players and say they weren't passionate enough. No, no, okay. The pitch looked like a potato farm, JD. They played
Hmm.
Angola and the pitch looked like a potato farm after they harvested. Imagine that.
Well, all
Imagine
I
that.
know, whatever feel you have in Africa, it's not worse like CONCACAF. I've seen Guadeloupe play Suriname on a pitch. Up to now, I can't understand how that pitch was passed to FIFA. So
Um,
you have some very
Conk-
bad pitches. You have to consider your life if you're a professional footballer from a different country, want to come and play in CONCACAF. I have to really start put that into if certain level ballers really want to come to CONCACAF to play. Because you're never going to come here if you're not from this confed. Because any
yeah,
stadium you're going to have World Cup in is going to be 65 million times better than these pitches. You know?
yeah.
Yeah. It's
I
a
think
deep conversation, man.
it's deep, and we had this conversation. What was it, 2 years ago, when they had to cancel one of the games because of, and then like we had the whole, and then we went through a area where it was just Canadians complaining about pitches all the time. It was like it's not about the Canadians complaining, but the point is we need a standardized level of standard. Like if CONCACAF needs to do a better job here to step in and say this pitch is not up to par. I'm sorry.
Yeah, agreed, agreed,
and
agreed.
and it's like some it's not about irrigation, it's about quality, because again, if this is the if every time you have a big competitive game, this is your door, your window into your confederation. And if that's the case, if this is what you want to showcase, if this is the front door you want to open, then by all means, CONCACAF, keep it up. We'll have, and again, this is by no means, I'm not trying to go after specific countries, but like one team, one country, it'll be literally grazing grass. The next country, it'll be bouncing astroturf, and it's like we need standards. I get not everyone is in those situations, and you have to do the best that you can. But as a confederation, they need to do a better job of stepping in and saying this is the standard things need to be. If you need help, even if it means that, and I said this, even if it means they have a specific fund that says, hey, this fund is available to improve your stadiums to this
Mm-hmm.
standard, right? Apply for it by this such and time so that you can get the means to do this, and we can do that. Even if they did that, it would open the doors. And maybe they do that, and no one really opens or calls that door. But I think as a whole, CONCACAF has to do a better job in terms of raising the standard of what the quality of the pitch is. Because if you do that when it comes to recruiting, not only is it just, hey, it's not just you want to come here because your grandmother's from here, but it's like, hey, we can play here. This is the standard of what we have. You guys go here, represent. Here's a platform that you can be proud to play on, and then we go. But until then, like you said, JD, we're gonna see a variant, and that's just the reality of it. Like we've romanticized it over the years, where it's like, ooh, you know, Canada will play a game in a snowstorm because it's Canada, and then Honduras will play a game and they'll say the grass is up to your knees because it's
Mm-hmm.
Concacaf. It's what we do. It's no, we
Yeah.
do it. We don't have to, right? We're
We don't
allowed to
have
just
to. Yeah.
watch.
Standard is standard, man. Yeah. Fact.
Exactly. But with that being the case, guys, we'll end it off here. We only did
Yes.
talk
And
about that, the
we're
U20s.
we're but you
We'll
didn't
come
put
back.
any title, so
Oh yeah, it's
nobody knows
true.
what you're doing. So you can't. They can't say you clickbaited them. You have no title. You have Saturday and
It's
Thursday. So it's just a day.
it's a Thursday stream, redacted on
Yes, the
Saturday.
Thursday. Yes.
It works.
But
But guys,
we can maybe do something either tomorrow or Monday, one of those
yeah,
days, close to before Thursday, so we can give a much more update as to what took place in Concacaf because that needed to talk about the Canada and all of those teams. So we can
indeed,
revisit that in
indeed.
a week. Yeah.
We will. Yeah, we'll revisit that during the week because again, Nations League happened. There's much. I mean, I'll pretend like I wasn't prepared to talk about Nations League, but I mean, Nations League happened, and Nicaragua and Guatemala. Hello there. Could you be the? I've not realized that someone is going to play either Guatemala or Suriname or possibly Guadeloupe in the Nations League quarterfinals, and I won't be surprised by that. This is extremely fascinating to me. I am extremely fascinated. And then, of course, Nicaragua and Honduras playing their matchups. That Honduras Jamaica matchup is going to change
Yeah,
a
a
lot of the
lot of people
construct of
will
that
be
group.
crying. A lot of people, the internet will be breaking down. Yeah, but I'm not going to let me say that for a different time because you know,
All I'm saying, as an outsider, the winner of that game, or the result of that game, is going to affect the balance of Group B, because if a certain team wins it, they are pretty much set. But if another
yeah,
team wins it, there are a lot of teams that are available to cause chaos. And personally, JD,
CONCACAF
I
again.
I
You know,
enjoy the chaos. I do. I,
That's what they want. They want ticket sales, so that's why they do this stupid format. You know, the
oh, I hate the
chaos. You
format. Let's not
know.
pretend it. I hate this format. There are
But
12 teams.
it adds drama. Believe me, because last season, remember, you have to be pulling on calculators. Like you're wondering who will be even when it finishes, you don't know who comes first. Who is A1, A2, A3, B, D, C. Yeah, Concacaf is just something special, man.
You know what they should do? You know what they should have done? They should have just said, whoever finishes second is playing this team. Whoever finishes second in this group is playing this team. So we know. So everyone's just like, ooh. So then it turns into we don't want to play this. Or like, imagine, JD, if they said, Group B, whoever finishes second is playing the US right now. And you look at that team, and then and you have Jamaica's like, I don't know. I think we can take them. We don't need first place. Let's just take second. Let's just like if CONCACAF had done that, I would have
Oh,
loved
you want
it.
to, okay. Well,
I would have.
all right, we see if we can patch in a day so we can talk
Yeah,
about everything, break down as much things.
indeed. Let's do that. Even tomorrow, I'm good for tomorrow. If we want to just hop on tomorrow and do that.
All right. Let's see how it works, because
All
tomorrow I
right.
should be free. Majority. What time? What time? The same time or night?
We could do
Or
early. So I'm
yes,
free early tomorrow. So
yes. Earlier would be better because I don't have the kids.
yay. Well, this is what welcome to our board meeting. We've just planned everything, guys. Welcome to the back end of our team.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do it. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk about Nations League, but then also talk about AFCON qualifiers,
Yes,
because
Afghan for
God,
sure.
the stars are falling in Ghana. They are falling,
And we
and
are gonna have Ghana and we're gonna have Nigeria in the damn title. You
yeah.
know, because
We
the
will.
people we need to have Ghana and Nigeria in the title, especially Ghana.
We don't put falling stars in titles. Okay, we only put stars that stay up. Okay, we don't win games still, JD. We draw them. We draw them.
Well, Nigeria draw games as well too.
But you at least won one. Okay, you got to feel what a win feels like. What does
Yeah,
that
all
feel
right.
like, JD? I don't know what it feels like. It's been too long.
I don't know. Even today, I was watching Expression. I know we're finished, but today I was watching Expression, and he was saying, "Party, party is the worst midfielder. He's so old, you know." So I just remember it reminds me of Ghana and saying, "This is the reason why Ghana can't win no match because nobody can tell me that party is no 30 years old. It's lie. It's a wrong birth paper." But
We're not doing. Listen, like he aged on the flight over. Okay, in Spain he was a healthy 25. Once he hit England, it was that seawater that hit him. The seawater made him like, ooh, he's getting to his knees. You know how it feels, the elevation point, and then your knees are a little bit heavier, and you make old man noises when you're like getting up. That's what happened. Once he got to Arsenal, there was too much Arsenal in his bag, so he just.
yeah. Oh my
But
God.
yes, let's do it tomorrow. We'll have
All right.
falling
Yeah. So
stars
tomorrow,
and
guys, we're gonna be coming back. Nigeria, Jamaica, all of those excitements that you want to talk about. We will be back tomorrow.
indeed, indeed, we'll do that, guys. So, but thank you for being here on the rewatch. And tell us how you feel about the U20s. Until then, we'll see you guys tomorrow, and then the next time, and then the next time after that. All right, bye bye for now, guys.